All right, welcome back, guys. I'm Noah. With me is Wolf. This is the GSL Code A round of 32. We just saw our first match where NS Hosotastar took down Fnatic Phoenix. But this next match, I think, is one a lot of people have been looking forward to just as much. We have FXO Leenock versus Slayers BoxeR. Kind of a tragedy that they had to meet here in the round of 32.
QXC's giving us this funny look.
It's like trying to distract us. You can
see his finger. He's going like this.
There he is. No bandana today.
Nope, no bandana.
Nope.
You guys can see him live.
Yeah.
This is actually how he really is.
That's right.
That's how he really is, man.
QXC in
I know
real
some
life.
of you guys think he sleeps with that on, but he doesn't.
A wild QXC appears?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wild.
Wild.
If you guys have seen him in that picture, says, I'm QXC, you've probably heard of me. Yeah, he's not wearing it in that. I don't think.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
that's
sure he's
right.
not.
Yeah. There's been other sightings of him without a bandana.
That's true.
Yeah.
The best one is when he puts a bandana on Shoya.
Yeah,
and they're looking at each other. That actually just makes me all emotional when I look at that. I'm like,
my son, I will teach you the ways.
It's pretty funny. I like that picture a lot.
So, man, BoxeR versus Leenock. I could see this one going either way. If Leenock plays at his peak, he'll beat Slayers BoxeR. If Slayers BoxeR plays like he's been playing, he's going to beat Leenock. You know, it could go either way.
It really could. This is going to be a pretty even match, I think.
Yeah.
Leenock's so patient. His ZVT is excellent, but BoxeR...
I think it's his best matchup.
BoxeR,
really
man,
do.
BoxeR's been improving a lot.
Yeah, he certainly has. We saw it. MLG recently did very, very well, but let's talk about this guy first. FXO Leenock, there he is, one of the younger players in the GSL. He made it to round 4 last season. And has been one of my favorite Zergs for a long, long time. Just the things he does, the decisions he makes in games. I love watching this guy play.
I became a fan of this guy back in Open Season number 3.
Yeah.
He showed some awesome games on Jungle Basin during a time where Zergs were like, you can't win on Jungle Basin. I was like,
yeah.
Well, Leenock can.
He had a very, very memorable series against TSL Clyde back in the day.
Yeah.
One of the best series ever in the GSL, I think, from a pure entertainment standpoint. And he's got great Infestor play. I mean, that's when he goes Infestors in ZVT, he's just, it's like magic. It's like he works magic with his fingers, Wolf.
He does.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, he's going to need to pull out the magic to beat Slayers BoxeR. I mean, BoxeR's improved so much since the first season he played in the GSL. I'm really, really interested to see how Leenock does against these newer TPZ strategies that the Slayers Terrans have been doing.
Yeah, that Marine Hellion drop has been dominating right now, and there are some maps that are really good for it. Terminus Re is not one of those maps, but I don't think we don't necessarily have to see that from BoxeR. There is BoxeR himself.
There he is.
The Emperor, he fell out of Code A, but just for a moment.
Yeah,
he
only
popped
for a
his
moment.
way back in.
But he could fall out again.
This is a danger day, man.
Danger days. The danger days are not over, people.
They're not over.
You gotta understand. Yeah, at BoxeR, such a easily one of the nicest pro gamers I've talked to, too. I mean, yeah, always willing to take time for his fans. Even if he loses, this guy stays around and make sure that everybody gets a picture, everybody gets an autograph. Just a great guy. And becoming a very, very dominant Terran player as well. I mean, if he plays like he's been playing recently, we could see him back in Code S. He's got a long road before he gets there, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm actually really excited about this match, man. I've got like the adrenaline flowing and everything. I'm really excited to see these guys play against each other.
Me too.
It's really too bad one of them has to get knocked out.
You know, if you guys come down to the studio, you could actually talk to this guy.
Yeah, you could. If you're in Seoul, definitely come down to the Mokdong studio.
Well, if you're in Seoul right now, it might be too late to come and see this guy. You might want to get on a train right now.
That's right.
But if he wins, he'll be here, look at the schedule, find out when he's going to be here, and talk to this guy.
He'll be here for Team League.
Yeah, he comes for Team League, for example. He also comes sometimes to support other Slayers players that are playing. So, for example, at Code S, when a Slayers player is playing, he might be there. So, definitely recommend coming down to the studio and meeting some of these guys. You can meet Leenock. You can meet Phoenix, for example, when he's playing. Anyone who's playing that day will most likely talk to you. No one's like rude and going to ignore you. All pro gamers are actually nice people.
That's one of the cool things about the studio, too, is that the players aren't like cut off from the fans. You know, you're walking around with the players when you're here, you know? I mean, Wolf and I had our it's a little bit different. The fans won't experience that, but we had our makeup done right next to BoxeR today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just the GSL experience. You get to come, meet the players. It's a little bit easier than like a huge event, you know? So, yeah, but the game's starting. We're going to get inside. Who's going to win, BoxeR or Leenock? Code A waits for No Man Wolf. All right, over here at the 3 o'clock position on Terminus, we have our Zerg player from the Team FX Open. Very good Zerg player, but is he good enough today? We're going to find out he is.
FXO Leenock.
One of the youngest players in the GSL versus one of the oldest players in the GSL. And here he is over on the 6 o'clock position. It is our blue Terran player. They call him the Emperor, the leader, the founder of Team Slayers. He is
Slayers BoxeR.
Slayers BoxeR. So, the maps are very interesting for this match. A lot of big maps, and that may make it, I don't know, do you think that's going to make it a little bit tougher for BoxeR to do what we've been seeing these Terrans doing?
Well, that style that we were talking about earlier is very difficult to execute on this map.
Yeah.
There is one place where you can kind of lift up and then bounce back down, and that's right above the ramp. And that's basically right there where you see that SCV, right behind where the little square tile set is kind of an area where you can drop units up there, and then you can have units shooting from the low ground, but it's a very small area. It's very difficult to fan your units out and do exactly what you want to do. You don't have a lot of mobility there. Your Marines basically have to be in one spot for the Hellions to be firing on the low ground. You guys know what I'm talking about. So it's not the best map for this style, but you can do it potentially. It's not impossible.
Yeah. And, you know, interestingly enough, the first time in a long time I've seen BoxeR build his first barracks at his wall. He's not doing any sort of crazy, you know, barracks on the low ground stuff. So playing very safe. I think we're going to see BoxeR really play safe this series. He does not want to get knocked down into Code B again. Definitely does not want that.
Well, I mean, nobody does, man.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants, well, maybe some people do. I don't want Leenock to get knocked down either, Wolf. I don't want either of these guys
I guess
to get
we're
knocked
just going to
down.
have a draw if Doe gets what he wants.
That's right. It's going to be like America's Got Talent. I'm just going to make a judge's decision. They both get to go to the round of 16.
We like make the Code S like a 33-player tournament. How does that work?
That's right. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I mean, not Code S. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's like, what does this have to do with Code S? I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
well, one of these guys has a good chance of getting into Code S, that's for sure. BoxeR putting a little bit of bunker pressure on Leenock here, but, you know, it's going to be light pressure. He's not too raxing or anything like that. The drone may even do enough damage to the SCV to make BoxeR pull that
Look at
away.
that drone. That drone was just like sniffing the bunker. Wasn't really interested in attacking the SCV anymore.
First Marine coming in right now, and the drone needs to make a run for it for a moment here. And that
this is so frustrating.
Bunker's actually going to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix?
That was last series, man.
Phoenix.
We're talking about Slayers BoxeR now.
That bunker's going to Phoenix.
So the bunker obviously doing some damage to the hatchery.
No, you're wrong, Wolf. It's the Marine inside the bunker that's doing the damage.
Right, of course.
Sorry.
And so this is difficult for Leenock to deal with, but he's very patient. He's actually going to almost got that SCV.
Yeah.
He's just going to patiently deal with this. I'm really going to be shocked if he wastes some Zerlings here because it's not knowing what he does. And he's going to target down a drone or attempt to here.
Yeah.
That was a little bit weird. He wanted to make sure he could salvage the bunker, but maybe a little too soon there.
Too soon, man. And looks like BoxeR actually might be going for that opening. He did put the reactor. There's the tech lab on the barracks, so it looks like he might be going for it.
It's entirely possible, but he is getting a command center first before doing any starport shenanigans.
Well, that's what we've been seeing too. They get the command center and then you get the starport.
It's not the super fast Hellion drop. He moves reactor Hellions out, controls the map with them a little bit, does the attack later.
I've actually been studying this open quite a bit. I've been looking at a lot of MMA's games from MLG. Was doing the same thing. Basically, what you do is you get out 4 Hellions and then you switch the barracks and the factory, get Blue Flame. And then once your starport comes out, you'll have a medevac and 4 Hellions, good amount of Marines.
Yeah, the timings for this are very specific.
Yeah.
And there's the switch with the barracks and the factory. Probably going to see Blue Flame researched here.
Yeah, it seems to require a lot of multitasking. It doesn't seem like a very easy opening to do, but it gives you a really good unit mix against a lot of early Zerg unit compositions.
And it's really cool how this build order has evolved because it's such a specific build order.
Yeah.
But it's really common to see players do it now because people have practiced it so much, especially Terrans and the Slayers team. It's almost predictable that they're going to do it. We predicted it from the start just because, it's something that they've been doing a lot.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to, they're one of the few teams that's kind of trying to adapt an identity as a team, have like a team style, I think. And that's kind of cool. So this is the Slayers Terran TVZ opening style. And there's the starport just finishing up. We're going to see a medevac come out of that very, very soon as BoxeR takes his expansion. And that's the other nice thing about this opening is that you have a very, very safe expansion in a lot of cases.
And what's going to happen here is, like you were talking about earlier, the medevac and the blue flame are going to finish around the same time.
Yep.
The drop's going to hit at this really cool time. You can see those Marines right there chasing that Overlord away. They're going to be involved in this as well.
Oh, really fast third from Leenock. And, you know, Leenock's playing pretty typical Leenock. Very, very drone heavy early on. He loves to drone like crazy. 16
Zerglings in production right now, though.
Yep. Yeah, he knows it's time to produce some units.
He knows the potential for this coming. Now, the scary thing about this is even if you have a ton of Zerglings prepared for when where the Marines are going to drop, if he just doesn't drop the Marines, then it doesn't matter because the Hellions are on low ground shooting the Zerglings. Then the Zerglings have to back up. Then he drops the Marines and the Zerglings come. The Marines get lifted up and the Hellions shoot at him. It's like so difficult to deal with for a Zerg player.
Yeah, it's very micro-intensive, but if it's done well.
The blue flame has been shown.
Yep.
I think he knows what's going on now. And I think he knows just where it's going to be. He's positioning his queens. The queens are what you need for this.
I'm sure Leenock knows exactly.
This is exactly what I was talking about. This position right here is the place where it would happen.
That's the one.
And with the queens targeting down the medevac. Oh, that medevac with 6 hit points left.
The Banelings, and the Banelings get in, actually. And Leenock cleans it up.
But the Hellions get into the natural where all the drones are getting roasted here.
Ooh.
So many drones being killed. 15.
That's the danger right there.
Surrounds these Hellions, does clean them up. But that is a lot of Hellions lost there. I mean, well, it's a lot of Hellions lost, but a lot of drones lost what I was intending to say there.
Yeah.
Killed a decent amount of Zerglings as well. And for what he committed to that, it was a decent trade. But Leenock has a 3rd hatchery up now. He's going to be mining from that very soon.
Yeah.
And now BoxeR doesn't have an army to where he can continue to pressure Leenock, so Leenock can kind of drone up again. He's getting his Spire up.
The interesting thing now with this is that, you know, Leenock dealt with it pretty well. You know, he lost a couple drones from the Hellions, but he dealt pretty well. Looks like the Hellions are going to try to poke in and maybe do a little bit more damage. But now the question is, you know, what is going to be the transition out of this for BoxeR? Because we didn't really get to see a lot of that yet. Looks like it's just going to be a lot of bio.
It's just going to be Marine Tank, most likely. He's added 3 barracks here. He's gone up to 4. He's got 3 reactor barracks and 1, of course, Tech Lab researching Sim. He's going to get combat shields shortly afterwards. 13 drones in production for Leenock right now. Pretty safe to do this. He's got a decent amount of map control. He's got Overlords spawning around. He's got enough against Soul. He's got a Baneling Nest. And he's just going to wait for that Spire to go up. He's going to save up resources. He's going to make a ton of mutas. And then he's going to start trying to control the map using those mutalisks.
Yeah, well, Leenock's in good shape. I mean, and everything he did was prepared to hold off that push. I mean, he knew it was coming.
Well, here's the push. Oh, I thought he was going to do it.
Push?
I thought he was going to do it, but he's just sitting at the watchtower. I'm like, speaking of pushes, the thing about the Spire finishing is that BoxeR knows it's finishing right now, and he knows that if Leenock makes 8 mutas, that means he's not going to have a lot of Banelings, and that means it's a good time for him to attack. And he knows this timing. He's going to move out right now. As you can see here, this is a great time for Terrans to move out when the Spire finishes.
Now, Leenock is actually only making 2 mutas, so he's doing the right thing here. Because look at that, he does have the gas for the Banelings. BoxeR taking out some creep tumors as well. And, you know, again, with the amount of Hellions, with the amount of Marines, it's going to be really, really tough for Leenock to handle this.
Well, he didn't make that many mutas. In fact, he only made 2, then made a bunch of Banelings. Very, very safe by Leenock to go and check for this. He sees it. He's just playing very calmly, very safely. Now adding more mutas now that he knows that he's made enough Banelings to hold this.
And the thing with this, too, is it seems like in this style, the 3rd is delayed a little bit more than you would normally see it.
Yeah, and the Overlords spread creep to block it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while before BoxeR can really take that. Leenock taking a 4th base, that is pretty risky.
Yeah, that's Leenock. He loves to just take as many bases as he can, and here he comes. Does he have enough to take out the army of BoxeR? Whoa, a lot of the Hellions.
My mouth just went wide open when that happened, man. I don't know how that occurred.
I mean, BoxeR's got a ton of Marines left. Oh, never mind.
My mouth just my jaw's on the floor. I don't know what's going on.
He must have missed it somehow, I guess, but he's still got a ton of Marines right now, but is it going to be enough? I don't know. I think Leenock's going to crush this Marine army really fast if BoxeR doesn't pull back. And even if he does,
he's going to lose a lot of Marines. But notice how BoxeR splits off several of the Marines from the main group.
Yep. Nice micro by BoxeR right there. Not losing too many Marines to the Banelings. So BoxeR doing as best he can, but he made some pretty big mistakes in that push.
Well, he did do the best retreating job possible, splitting off some of the Marines from the main group.
Yeah.
Just so that you could. Oh, I don't know, man. He should have fallen back a little bit further here.
Wow.
Oh, look at those burrowed banelings, though. I don't think BoxeR has any idea.
No, I'm sure he doesn't. And Leenock's not going to do anything with those
Leenock's
guys.
like, well, I mean, you don't even have that many Marines yet. I don't know if I want to use these quite yet.
Yeah, and see, this is what we're talking about with Leenock. Just really good decision making.
Yeah, now he's
he
being
can sneak those in there.
Really aggressive, getting more Zerlings. He's probably going to make a few more banelings outside of the natural because he knows BoxeR doesn't have that many units. And here come the Zerlings now. He's actually going to start breaking down these rocks first. He may want to go into the third base instead.
Yeah, lucky for BoxeR.
Oh, man.
Maybe not lucky for BoxeR.
Oh, he's probably going to try to bait those back using the mutas pretty soon here. And he sees that creep is being spread at the third base.
No.
Oh!
And that is going to be...
Oh, man.
Yeah,
that is game ending.
That's it. Here comes Leenock, and this game is basically over, Wolf.
Yeah, very unfortunate for BoxeR. Even if he had scanned, there was a command center blocking those.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, just Leenock making great decisions as
Oh, look at that turret, though. Doing a lot of damage to these mutas, but it looks like it is finally going to fall.
Yep.
That was BoxeR's last defense.
And, wow, I mean, that one push that BoxeR did, I mean, we're going to analyze the game once it's over here. It's not over yet. It's, more or less over. There it is, GG. So, Slayer's BoxeR looking good up until that push. He lost like 8 Hellions to just like 3 or 4 Banelings.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And then after that, he walked Banelings, or Marines into Banelings.
Yeah, can't do that either. And BoxeR's got to be kicking himself a little bit for that. When he was in it, I mean, and that happens, it's tough. One little mistake, and then Leenock's got a huge advantage on you, and you can't give that to Leenock, man. Yep. And I got to say, Leenock played that really well, too. He was prepared for that. But it's kind of like, it's almost like knowing what your opponent is going to do before they do it.
Well, okay, so let me tell you guys exactly what happened. I'll tell you guys exactly what happened. So,
tell us, Wolf.
BoxeR knows the timing for the Spire.
Yes.
That was pretty evident. When the Spire finishes, a lot of Zergs are really tempted to make 6 to 10 Mutalisks, usually around 8 is pretty common. Mm-hmm. Right when that Spire finishes, they've got the gas saved up, they make those. You do that, and BoxeR attacks you, you might die. And BoxeR knows that. But Leenock knows that BoxeR knows. And so Leenock makes some Banelings first. He checks. BoxeR's units go on the creep a little bit. He's like, oh, I only make 2 mutas. Mm-hmm. So he makes 2 mutas. Then he makes a bunch of Banelings, and he makes 8 more mutas. And then he starts building his Mutalisks later. But he doesn't commit. He's like, well, I don't need these mutas now. I need to hold this push. I have an Overlord checking for his third. He doesn't have a third base yet. I'm even spreading creep there, so I know he hasn't even thought about taking a third base yet. And BoxeR waits. Then he goes for another good timing, but then he loses his Hellions. He loses his Marines.
Yeah, I mean, BoxeR didn't play that badly at all. He just had some control issues in the push, and that's all it takes when you're playing against someone like Leenock. I mean, he's so smart. He's actually, extremely smart. He's had kind of some bad breaks. He's had some tough groups. He's had some games where he hasn't played very well, and it's been all the big games that mattered. That's how he's ended up here. Got knocked out of Code A, and, he made it to the round of 16 last season, wasn't it? Oh, round of 4 last season. That's what it was. Yep. Yeah. I was actually wondering if he was going to get all the way to the finals last season.
Oh, he got knocked out by Puzzle, I believe it was.
Yeah. It had to be one of those two.
Yeah, one of the process. I'm like, it's too many PVCs.
Puzzle
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was Puzzle, but you could be right. It could be Tassadar.
Could be either one. It's going to one of the two. We got a 50% chance of
we got a 50-50,
right.
Man.
That's right.
That's like PvP in general. No, I'm just kidding.
I think next game is going to be just as exciting. That's the thing about these two guys, is that I really feel like they're very even in skill level right now.
Yeah.
I feel like Leenock is here, and BoxeR has kind of come up to that level. And if Leenock plays here and stays consistent, we're going to see some really good games. So it could still go either way. The second map is Teldrim Altar, so that could change a lot of things. BoxeR did have a game that he won versus Idra at MLG on Teldrim Altar. I actually didn't see any of the games from MLG and the championship day because I was flying to Korea. So, yeah, but we're going to get in the game. It's starting right now. GSL Code A with BoxeR and Leenock.